Hi, it's Miss Monquire again. In my last podcast, I showed how to make a line graph for a single point of data, a single set of data, like what's on the screen here. If you don't know how to make a graph like this, then I suggest you watch the first podcast first. Today, we're going to show how to use how to plot two sets of data on one graph, which is something you commonly need to do in science. And in this case, I'm going to use some data that I made up, and I'm pretending that I took a population count for 12 years of the red-bellied woodpecker, which is a native Wisconsin species, and the European starling, which is invasive, meaning it doesn't belong here. It was from Europe, and people brought it over. Those kinds of things want to be kept track of because to compete with one another, and you can see that the red-bellied woodpecker, which belongs here, is declining because European starling is increasing, or at least there's a related data. So, to plot this information, I started with a data table. In this case, you don't have to put the labels, but it makes making the graph a little bit easier. So I'm going to highlight my data table. And on this version of Excel, it's nice and easy because you just click on the Insert tab. If you don't have an Insert tab on your version of Excel, look for a little picture of a graph. We want to make a scatter plot, even though we're making line graphs. We want to, for some reason, Excel calls this version of it scatter plot. So we want to click on that, and these are trends. So we don't want the zigzag stick lines. We want to create smooth lines, and I like to have the lines connected, and so this is what I'm going to choose. And right away, we've got most of our graph made with our labels and everything showing. Notice that right away, the series information, which is this bit, is already on there because we highlighted that part when we selected our data. Now we just need to add in our axes and so forth. So we're going to go click up on top to layout. First thing, of course, we need a table. A chart title, and I'm going to put it above. Now, right away, I can type in this box here, and it will fill in my chart title. If I miss that, then I can just click on it. So I'm going to say these are competing species in Ozark County. Both of those species can be found here. And then that made my graph kind of small, so I'm going to resize a little bit. And I want to make a little bit more information for my graph as well. So, and I want to make this a little smaller because that's less important. So, just resize everything here. And I can spread this out a little bit more. Okay, now I would like to have some labels for my horizontal and vertical axis. So below is, of course, just the year. Oh, I need a capital letter. And again, I just started typing, and if I missed it, I can fill it in. Now, this is a little small, so I want to put that on there so it fits a little bit better. And I need to have my vertical axis. Now, in this case, I don't want to say population size of the red-bellied woodpecker because there's two sets of data. So I'm just going to type in number of individuals in population because that's nice and descriptive, but it can describe both of them. Okay. And my graph is looking a little bit too big, so I want to move this over a little bit so I have some room for my labels. There we go. All right. Now, we're basically done. However, we have some options. This red square looks a little bit big, so I'm going to change that, and I'm just going to click on one of them, and then right-click, and I'm going to choose Format Data Series. And my marker options, I don't care what shape it is, maybe I'll make it a circle. And then I can change it, make it a little smaller. Oops. So it's not quite so humongous. And if I want to, I can do that with the other. I can change the color and size, but that's basically how you record two sets of data on one graph.